Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Vintage, and this is a Dealer's Choice League from Patreon subscriber Heinz, who wanted to see me prep for Eternal Weekend. And I'm honestly zeroing in on Oath. Of course I have Dimir Luris, or, Blue-Black X Luris in my holster if I don't fall in love with anything else. But Oath has been putting up good numbers on Magic Online consistently over the past 2 months or so. The deck is pretty good against the winner's metagame. I think if you had just dropped me with Oath of Druids into the top 8 of Eternal Weekend US, I would have easily won the tournament. Obviously, that's just a huge hand wave of the entire Swiss rounds, and you got to get through those first. But the Frog decks, the Initiative decks, Bazaar decks, Unpowered decks, Raker shops, I am stoked to be Oath against any of those Sphere shops. Really, it's only the faster combo decks I'm worried about, which is kind of bad news because Mana Drain Luris Breach is the best performing deck online for the last month or so, and that deck is a tough matchup for me. But with good sideboard, good play, and I'm still a Force of Will deck with my own combo, and this take on Oath, over the past few months, I've played Oath a couple of times on the channel. One of them was a pure blue-green, no-splash Oath. I wasn't tinkering, I wasn't tutoring, I wasn't really doing anything except having good mana and casting stock up until I got to a point where I could Oath or Show and Tell. Then I played a Underworld Breach hybrid. That was a Rug Oath deck that was splashing black for tutors, but it had Underworld Breach and Brain Freeze in a couple of the flex slots that the Oath deck gets, and then it gave it a whole different angle of attack against matchups. And then the sideboard could either just cut the Oath stuff when it was bad or cut the Breach stuff when it was bad and focus on one of the two plans. That was a pretty cool take. And now I'm going back to the roots. This is Tinker Oath. This is the deck that 2 years ago I won the NYSE Open and top 8 at Eternal Weekend with. Obviously I have reps with this deck, and Tinker is kind of like Underworld Breach as far as if we build a package in Oath that does something just completely different. Tinker for Citadel gives you that puncher's chance in any matchup. This is how I beat Doomsday in the NYSE top 8. This is, you get to steal a lot of games when you have the card Tinker around. I do have Gaia's Blessing in this build, which is a card that I've brought in and out of my lists. It's usually, the last couple years, it was the 61st or 62nd card that didn't quite make the deck, but I have found it to be really important and nice to be able to just Oath forever. And sometimes it does take the 5th, 6th, or 7th Atraxa to win certain matchups. So I am playing with that today. One Ancient Tomb has been really awesome in Oath, in my experience, that gets your Show and Tells and stock ups stock in a little faster. This build also has the Tinker you can use that with. The life loss is not nothing when we're playing towards Bolas' Citadel, but that's just one of our many win cons. I'm going to try this build today and then see how I feel about Oath overall. And then if I decide on Oath, then I have the even harder work of deciding which build of Oath to play. But right now, we're doing this. I hope I still like it. This is Tinker Oath. I'm on the draw in round 1 versus a Luris strategy. Bolas' Citadel in the hand is a tough beat. I am just going to mulligan this. Okay, I'm going to keep this and bottom Gaia's Blessing. Got lands, I've got interaction, I've got half of 2 different combos. Any mock sends me to the Promised Land. I'll strip mine, sure. Got a fetch land to play around that. We love drawing the second Atraxa. Alright, we're playing against some sort of frog strategy. Underground Sea revealed. Yeah, we just got the pass. Alright, well, this is tricky because this is the best card in my deck. And I do have the setup, but I have no protection. I think I actually just want to pass here, which might seem crazy to pass without even developing my land or anything. Maybe that is just bad. I just play it, let them strip me, and then we're both down a land and we play on. But being a Mox away from Tinker is pretty nice. If I draw a Mox, I could play Oath without exposing the Orchard and then play it post. Oh, Katara Waterbending Master. So I am recording this on basically the day that Avatar came out, so people might be trying weird stuff. Right, whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, get experience. When a card attacks, you draw a card for each experience counter on it if you do discard a card. All right, I am going for the hedge maze here. This strip mine is tapped. I'm looking for this turn to do some action. Oko to the bin. Force of Will's a good draw. Mox is a good draw. Show and Tell's not that good. All right, I gotta just send it here. It's not getting better. Ancestral Recall. Yeah, that's a good one to trigger Katara off of. Oath Resolved. That is surprising. You know, I wonder if they have a prismatic ending or something like that. Sapphire. Pearl. Emerald. Emerald's weird. I suspect maybe this isn't a typical frog deck anymore. Stock up. Yeah, this is more Moxen than the low to the ground decks normally play, but who knows, my opponent could be deep in the brew space. I'm trying to fade like main deck Grafdigger's Cage now, or the card Prismatic Ending. And they tapped their strip mine to get this far, so my lands are intact. The Puncher's Chance of Oath is live here, fingers crossed. They could still loot one this turn. It's draw one, discard one for Katara because they have one experience. And experience counters go on the player, not on the creature. Like if this Katara leaves play, my opponent's experience is tracked over here on their avatar. Not this avatar, this avatar. The Skyfire Phoenix, not the Katara. Black Lotus. All right, we're still gaming. Okay, I'm being attacked for 2. They get to draw 1, discard 1. Discarded a redundant Katara. Legends that cycle away, redundant copies are always pretty sweet. Moment of Truth. Did they find the gas? Don't Prismatic End me, bro. Time Walk. They might have had that all along, which is why they were okay tapping out of the strip mine. But okay, we're taking a walk. The mana's refreshed. Lyris readily available here. Green, black in the pool. Abrupt Decay. Don't you do it. Oh, fuck, Demonic Tutor. That's whatever they want. Okay, so missing my land drop, actually devastating here. If I could have done all the same stuff with Flusterstorm available, I would have felt okay. We'll see. Like, they might have a main deck Consign. They might have a single Prismatic Ending. They might have a bounce spell. They might have like a Swords to Plowshares or Caracas to fight the first Atraxa. But if I can even get the trigger off, I'll feel very good. Manifold Key. Oh, or I'm just dead to Time Vault. Sweet, Merciful Poseidon. All right. Well, I got nothing here. All right. I was gated on mana and that killed me. Fair enough. I'll take it. Long Goodbyes and Abrupt Decays look good here. I don't think I want Null Rods or anything like that. Force of Negation, mediocre. The strip mine's tricky because we saw 4 different colors of mana that game. And even non-Wasteland decks play strip mine, but if they are an actual Wasteland deck, then I definitely want Island in. If they're not, I can live without it. We did see white mana, though. I got a plan for Containment Priest. I could shave an off-color Mox and Vamp Tutor. I mean, Vamp Tutor is good when you need to go fast. It's not great when you need to be stable, because it is down a card. Trying to decide if I want this Ruby in over Merchant Scroll. I feel like mana is going to be really important, and I have enough redundancy with Oaths, Stock Ups, Show and Tells, and Tinker. Turn 1, Stock Up. I keep these. I have the Mox in that cast Abrupt Decay even. Opponent's on 7. Emerald first, then Jet, and Stock. This is a 2-for-1 either way. They either force it or it resolves. Would like Force of Will and Forbidden Orchard, I believe. Viseju versus Orchard's actually interesting. Like, one moves my plan forward, and one stops their Time Vault from killing me. And they're a creature deck. I'll take Viseju. It's not like I'm ready to rip here. Pearl. Lotus. Yikes. Well, that resolves. I want to cast Stock Up this game, and, you know, unless something's going to actually kill me, I'm just not going to Force of Will here. And they use their mana effectively. Snapcaster Mage. Snap Ancestral's pretty fucked up. Alright, well, that's a lot of cards, but go nuts, homie. They did give me a creature. If I find an Oath. Mana Crypt, back down to 8 cards in hand. Cathar Commando. Alright, well, they could blow up one of my Moxen now, or save that for Oath later. Well, I certainly got dumpstered. My turn 1 Stock Up pales in comparison to turn 1 double Ancestral Recall. Right, Soul Ring can get out there. Stock Up. Okay, there's Tinker and Force of Will. How do I want to manage this? I mean, Cathar Commando also blows up Bolus the Citadel, so this doesn't really do much that I need it to. If I take Force of Will and Tinker, then I could Abrupt Decay, Cathar Commando, go to my turn. Okay, I'm going to take Tinker, and is Force better than Show and Tell? I mean, they're both blue, and if I don't have to Force, then Show and Tell is a backup. Yeah, Show and Tell is probably better than Force. Oh, I don't have a Bayou. I actually can't play Abrupt Decay here. Yeah, there's one Underground Sea, no Bayou. I was supposed to play before. All right, well, that's 3 extra damage I'm taking. Yeah, I'm still like figuring out the mana base and everything, so having a second fetchable black source is not irrelevant. If I had literally just tapped Emerald instead of Jet, this whole turn works exactly the same, but I can do what I want. And I can Besage You if they have like Time Vault here, but that won't stop me from killing their commando. My P-hole. All right, well, that happens. This doesn't stop me from tinkering. I'll float a green. Under City Sewer. If I Besage You their Crypt in the end step, what does that do? Probably nothing. Right. They would probably just destroy Soul Ring, but I need them to not have Cathar Commando up anyway. Like they could, this is their main phase also. They could float 2, tutor a land, cast a 3-drop, or put Lurrus in their hand. And if they put Lurrus in their hand, that's great for me, because then they're tapped out of Commando. I could have also saved Besage You as my land drop, and then in my main phase, Abrupt Decay, Cathar Commando, float mana when they blow up Soul Ring, and then cast Tinker. I don't know, we'll see what they do. I would strongly prefer to have my land drop available if I'm going for Citadel. It would be great if they just buy Lurrus, I'd be so hyped with that. Floated 2. Manifold Key untaps Pearl. So they filtered 2 colorless mana into 1 white mana. Orcish Bowmaster, alright, there's that guy. Alright, I kind of need mana here. The way that all fizzled out. Alright, well, I don't love it, but it's what we got. I'm gonna fetch, get Trop, Abrupt Decay, Cathar Commando, float with Soul Ring, and we're all in, baby. Tinker for Citadel, no land drop, 12 life. Facing down Orc Army. Force Pitching Drain, Force Pitching Show. A Bolus of Citadel's in play. Long goodbye, okay. I will destroy Orcish Bowmaster with that. Okay, Oath of Druids. We're gaming. Cast Oath. And now I'm stuck. Alright. Well, is that enough? Go. Scalding Tarn, 2 cards in hand. They can attack me to 4, and then I gotta Bolus of Citadel from there, which means Atrax is off. It's a tight one. If they have nothing, I'm good, but if they have anything, I'm not. Okay, I am now at 2 instead of 4. Oh, I'm at 1. Oh no, I'm dead. Shit. Well, alright. Disappointed. Okay. I feel like this matchup's probably good, but game 1, I just tripped over my own development too much. And then game 2, they cast Ancestral Recall twice on turn 1. Alright, on to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in round 2. No Lurrus from my opponent. I'm going to mulligan this non-functional hand that also has Bolus of Citadel in it. This hand doesn't actually do anything. It does cast Force of Will without giving up anything important. Alright, I think I have to keep this, and I'll bottom the island. Opponent's on 6 over there. A Flooded Strand, not Lurrus deck. Oh, is this the Oath Mirror? Merchant Scroll resolves. Ancestral Recall in your hand. Good to know. Time Walk's interesting. Alright, I'm gonna probe my opponent here. Narset, Flusterstorm, Forbidden Orchard. Okay, so it is the Oath Mirror. Narset's not great for me. None of this is good for me, actually. Just going to play Flooded Strand and keep them guessing. I could walk, but I think I would rather walk on a turn where I'm doing anything rather than just hitting a land drop. There's the Orchard. There's Crypt. All right, so I still know their whole hand, and they're still gated on blue. But they have Fluster to protect their Ancestral. All right, yeah, I'm just going to get my Hedge Maze and let them resolve Ancestral. Nothing I can do here. I can't beat this anyway. Go ahead, enjoy that. Hedge Maze. Another Force. Didn't want the first one. Fluster. Right, Ancient Tomb is in. I think I have to Time Walk now. I wanted to do this when I was actually doing something, but they are crushing me here. And they correctly did not fluster that, because it doesn't matter. Well, there's Oath, but they have Orchard and I don't, so I can't actually play this card. That's abominable. Okay, Mana Crypt is in, and I'm going to pass my turn. That Crypt is just to help pay for Flusterstorm. We're both Crypt gaming, but I'm also Ancient Tomb gaming. All right, they've got a Hedge Maze. Guy's Blessing, targeting Ancestral Recall. Sure, that's back in your deck. I have Into the Floodmaw that can gift a tapped fish to my opponent, but that's a one-time effect versus Forbidden Orchard working forever. I lost my Crypt Flip, drew another Force, and just passing. And Floodmaw only bounces things opponents control, so I can't, like, trick them into giving me an Orchard Spirit, bounce the Spirit, give them a fish, and flip it. That also just wouldn't outmuscle the Orchard. Now they have 2 Orchards. The Oath Mirror is kind of a mess. There are certain things that are important and certain things that are not, and Forbidden Orchard is one of the things that's very important. Okay, Storm is easily payable here. I'm going to force, probably going to pitch Floodmaw to do it, which might give up that this is a mirror, and then they could just start giving me creatures. But if there's no Oath in play giving me creatures, flips the race, because we are both at low teens of life totals, despite nothing actually happening in this game because of Mana Crypt and the other thing. All right, well, now I have to fight this. Force pitching Show and Tell. They fluster. I fluster back. And I hope I can beat them with the Spirits, because they have to give me another one to fluster. And now we're on beatdown strat. I can actually just pay 5. Sick. The Flusterstorm is covered twice. Well, 2 different ways, not twice. Force pitching Flusterstorm, and now I fluster you. Aha! 1 card left in Op's hand. Okay, now I have to hope this devolves into a dumbass game where I have a Spirit and they don't, and that's the only thing that matters. Winning Crypt Flips is going to be important, and I did just get one. Ooh. Look who's in the game. An Orchard of my own. But they have 2 Orchards to my 1 creature. They are winning the race, so I can't play Oath. They want a Crypt Flip. They have enough mana to just cast Attracts if they draw it as well. Tinker's a great draw for me. That's something that cracks the mirror. It also gets my Mana Crypt out of play. Vamp. All right. That could be a Tinker next turn if I'm willing to Citadel with, like, potentially 5 life. Vamp for Oko is probably better. We're both winning Crypt Flips now. The game is afoot. Well, I have to give them a Spirit to Vamp, but I think it's worth it. All right, Vampiric Tutor in the end step. I could try to Ancestral, or I could get one of my actual good cards like Tinker or Oko. I think it's Oko for me. All right, I'm taking Oko. That makes my clock faster, takes my Mana Crypt out of the equation. Obviously, if they have a counterspell, I'm cooked regardless. Well, I'm at 5. We love that. Okay, do I want to go to 3? Absolutely not. All right, blue, green, Oko. 1 card in hand. Is it Force? Looks like it is. All right, Force of Negation, and now I am behind on the Spirit Race. If I draw Orchard, like, they haven't just been dumping Spirits into play every turn, which is why they're still alive. They've also won 3 Crypt Flips in a row. Oh, good. Demonic Tutor, great. Yeah, this game was just cursed from the start. The Oath Mirror is so ugly, especially if you don't know what you're going into and you keep a hand that just makes no sense for the mirror match. What they tutor here might actually be interesting. Like, if they get Oath, they have to give me 2 Spirits before they pass the turn. If they get something like Oko, if they show me that their deck has Tinker in it, they could just cast Atraxa. which would show me 10 cards in their list as well. Okay, they're tapping a lot of mana. This looks like Atraxa. Yep. Atraxa confirmed. This does give them more creatures than me, though, because Atraxa is a creature. If they miss that important detail... Oh, Oath isn't even in play. Damn it. All right. I was like, wait, we got him, but we don't actually got him at all. Tinker confirmed. They took Mox, Sapphire, Tropical Island, Atraxa, Oko, Oath, and Tinker. Tinkering, okay. Well, get Mana Crypt out of play, I guess. Makes it hard to lose. Citadel at 8 life. Not that I can get through an Atraxa. My way to do that was pitch to Force. That's the Into the Floodmaw. And having fewer creatures always matter. Not being at 3 when I'm about to hit another Crypt Flip also matters. And we're dead. Okay. The Oath Mirror, the card Oath of Druids, is very bad. Right, so Force of Negation, I like. We're going to be fighting over Tinker for the most part here. Decay can kill Okos. I don't have any more to bring in. There's just the one in my main. We saw my opponent has Narset. You can build this deck with more or less Planeswalkers, which naturally makes certain matchups more or less better. Decay kills Oko, and if they do go on an Oath line, it's something I can beat up. Tabernacle's funny, because Oath never works for anyone if there's a Tabernacle in play, because anyone with creatures can just not pay them. But you'd have to end step, give them a creature, which, that does do something. Okay, what am I talking about? I don't even know. Yeah, not much to change here. There's no Thoughtseizes in this build, which is something I would consider, because Show and Tell is risky if your opponent could also just have a Drax in their hand. Do I want Mindbreak Trap? It's not that it's good, it's just that it's anything. And if it comes down to a showdown of casting spells or whatever, all right. I'm just going to stop here. This hand does not do anything. I'm going to mulligan. This hand has an Ancestral Recall with protection. I'll keep it. And I'm going to put Atraxa to the bottom. Or do I want that for Force? I could put Abrupt Decay to the bottom. All right, I'll worry about Abrupt Decay later. I'm going to go for the old upkeep Ancestral, play around as much as I can. I've got Boseiju for green mana. I could get Underground Sea and turn on my black cards. It's my tutors. Yeah, I'll take it. Opponent knows what's up. You fetch in their upkeep. Only one thing can happen. Force pitching Fluster, Force pitching Atraxa. And I'm reloaded. My hand is exactly the same as before I Ancestral Recalled. Mox Pearl. Let's stock up Atraxa. Oh. That's one of the Mirror Breakers. Because that's one of the few ways to get an Atraxa going and cards in your hand without letting them do it too. Alright, flash in my second Atraxa. Fill my hand. What do we got here? We've got Mana Crypt. Hedge Maze is the only land. I guess I'll take that. Vamp Tutor gets me Tinker and Gitaxian Probe. Sees what they're working with. All right, done. So with this, I can Vamp in my upkeep, put Tinker on top, probe them to see what's going on, Vamp in my upkeep. This is like a pretty big commitment to spending life, but if it works, I win. So gotta do it. Is there a Force of Negation? There is not. Their hand is complete garbage, which is what I needed. Abrupt Decay they can't cast, and then some other shit. Tinker, get my Citadel, and please deck land Fluster. I could shuffle this away and try to keep going, or I could just hold Flusterstorm on top. That doesn't counter Oko though, so I will fetch. Drop. Shit. Alright. Bad news, team. If they draw a blue source for this Oko, I am behind and basically just spend a bunch of stuff to draw a card. Alright, their hand is just the worst imaginable. Cool. And now, on the draw, reconsidering this Mindbreak Trap. Yeah, Tinker, Flash, and Oko are the things we're going to have showdowns about. What does Merchant Scroll do? It gets Ancestral Recall or Counterspells. That's it. I think I will bring in the Mindbreak Trap over that. Consign to Memory could counter an Atraxa trigger, which could functionally counter a Flash, which would be cool. But it doesn't do much else. Alright, let's go. I have a turn 1 Bolas' Citadel. I'm going to keep. I get smoked by any counterspell, so I have to decide how I want to actually roll this out. Actually, any counterspell is not true because Flusterstorm doesn't work. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How quick can I play this Atraxa? The colors are the problem. I have plenty of raw mana. Yeah, I'm short on colors for that. I think I'm going to send it. Crypt. Ring. Do I think they'd fight over Bolas' Citadel? Like, if I Time Walk right now and give them a creature. Or, fight over Time Walk. All right. I'm actually going to walk here and give myself a chance to draw a counterspell. As much as I'd love to just jam Citadel. Okay. I'll go to my bonus turn. Opponent has a creature. Won my crypt flip. Did not win my draw counterspell flip. I'm still a color short of casting Atraxa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I need the color off the Lotus. I think I'm actually going to pass with Boseiju up and spend a turn fetching for Hedge Maze. Obviously, I feel like I'm missing out a little bit here, but it's just so devastating if they have anything, and I have so many cards that could make this better for me. Hedge Maze, and I have the Orchard advantage, which means I am taking damage, and they're not, but it also means that they can't play Oath, but I can, if I find the one Oath in my deck. All right, yeah, they just dumped an Oath. That's what I'm talking about. All right, you've got an Orchard as well. Combat. All right, I'll get my Hedge Maze in the end step. I'm looking for Flusterstorm, Force of Will, something else they'd want to counter. Tropical Island's not it. Lost my crypt flip. That is getting worse every turn. It's not great for me. Okay, so now I have this island, but Hedge Maze doesn't make a unique color. Man, 4 colors is so many for Atraxa. Like, I would need black, black, black to cast Bolas' Citadel. A fetch land casts Atraxa. I don't know. Besiegeing my Orchard. So I'll take the 1/1. I'll float a 1/1 back their way, just in case this is some trick to get an Oath into play. That kills my white source, but it does unlock my black. All right, I mean, I'll take the Underground Sea, and I don't need to do anything here, as I can Boseiju the Oath if they have that. Okay, they do in fact have Oath, giving me a second fella. Okay, I mean, block, block. Now nobody has anything. And how do I want to do this? I guess I'll just go to my turn. I don't have to do anything yet. Oko. That is interesting. Okay, this might be good enough to counter. So we go green, blue, 2 colorless, Oko. If they counter this, I jam Bolas' Citadel. Like, Oko can keep up. All right, yeah, worst pitching Atraxa, that's countered. Black Lotus. Black, black, black. 1, 2, 3. Bolas' Citadel. Did we do it? Oh, another force. Okay. All right, well, that's 2 Atraxas gone, and Oath just won't trigger here. That's how that works. There's not a window where Oath asks. It just won't trigger, which means I have a turn cycle before I have to think about that, and I can Boseiju it. God, you drew Oko? Well, that's actually... Or no, Narset? That's bad, too. It's not as bad as Oko, though. So if they had Oko and Elked me, put 4 power into play thinking it was going to be good, that's something I can abuse. Okay. We go to my turn here. Draw. Force of Will. I'm going to attack Narset. I think I'm going to lose this game to my own Mana Crypt, unfortunately. All right, destroy your Oath. If they want Narset to do anything, they have to delete it, but there's not a lot of card draw in my deck, so they probably should get a card out of Narset while they can. There it goes. And I am attacking it. Another Oath. Well, I have to counter that, which clears the way for this Merchant Scroll to do whatever it's going to do, which might even pitch to Force right now. Veil of Summer, you sicko. All right, well, that's rough. All right, now my draws are like Abrupt Decay and nothing else. All right, they found Lotus off of the Veil draw, which means they also get to Ancestral right now. That's so fucked up. Yeah, that was as good as it could ever be. Just cast Time Walk. Finish me off. Something's happening. Oko. All right, well, Oko's in as well. Is that going to elk my Soul Ring, or are we just going to make food? I've got plenty of creatures, yeah. Just don't die to damage, and you should be fine over there. All right, not a lot of good draws left. Mindbreak Trap's not it. All right, GG. Yeah, I worked that game to a spot where I baited out their Force of Will and was going to jam Bolas' Citadel, but their hand was double force, double blue card, and then they were Hellbent. And then Oath, Oko, Ancestral Recall rolled off the top. So I think I played that game as well as I could, and then just like got vintaged in the second half. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw against non-Lurrus in round 3. I have my first real Oath jam. I'm going to keep. It's unprotected, but this is a turn 2 Oath with Ancestral along the way. Mox Cycle Lorien for Underground Sea in non-Lurrus. This is Doomsday. Come on, that's what I'm trying to do. Give me a break. All right, I will play Mox Pearl. And I'm going to pass. And my plan is to Ancestral in their end step. If they're Doomsday, Ancestral could be a win condition. And a Vault. All right. This is a hard cast Force of Will if they want it. It'll cost them their Vault. All right, Flusterstorm, you got me. Storm is a gajillion. Let's hope this Flusterstorm paves the way for Show and Tell. Yeah, that was a good rip. All right. Show and Tell with Force backup. You've got a Force. I've got a Force. Now what? Put in Atraxa. Please don't have Dress Down. Don't have Bolas' Citadel. Yeah, they put in a land, 1 card left. I've got Force of Will. Oko. Show and Tell. Flooded... Nope, Boseiju is better than Flooded Strand. And I don't actually want the Bolas' Citadel in my hand. Yeah, that's not likely to be cast. If I would have to draw Black Lotus to cast Citadel. Brainstorm's not in this deck. Just trying to think of reasons to have or not have Bolas' Citadel in my hand. If it's in my hand, I can't redraw it. Alright, I will take Bolas' Citadel. Okay. My opponent clearly didn't have another counterspell, or else that would have happened, and now I do have a counterspell with Atraxa in play. This could be a Beseech Storm deck. It could be a like Tezzeret Vault Blue Tinker deck. Those are decks that can beat me from low life total, which incentivizes me to be as cautious as possible. There are some decks where the first hit from Atraxas, even if it doesn't literally kill them, it's functionally enough. Oh, I had fucking Show and Tell. I could have just shown the Bolas' Citadel. That's all right. I'm being careful. I was in the tag about, is there any reason to put this Bolas' Citadel in my hand? Is it an artifact that I could put into play with Show and Tell? Is that how that works? The cool thing is I have enough mana to hard cast a Force and then pitch cast another Force, and I can still Citadel, even though I don't really deserve it. I'm going to get Hedge Maze. Try to roll this up. Another Show and Tell. Okay. Draw for turn. Attack for 7. I'm at 30, you're at 4. Show and Tell. Hope this doesn't betray me. They put in their own Bolas' Citadel. I put in Citadel, you put in Portable Hull. Okay, you can have my Mox. Atraxa on top. Cast holding priority in case there's an instant there. It's another Atraxa there. Let's keep those going. Alright, they don't want to play anymore. Sweet. Okay, this is some sort of Tinker or combo deck. Force of Negation, Mindbreak Trap. Do I want something like Steel Sabotage against them? I don't really know enough. Consign to Memory could hit Tezzerets or Storm Triggers. I probably want Consigns in. Do I want my Null Rods? Did I see enough to be convinced of that? Probably. Right. Mana Crypt and Soul Ring can come out if I have my Null Rods. Vexing Bobble's tricky. Oath is kind of slow. I'll leave some in because they do matter. Oko probably doesn't matter much here. And Basic Island I don't need. I did just cut a lot of mana out of the deck. Let's see if that screws me. Hey, this is a counterspell, a demonic tutor that could get either Oath or something more protective or something, or it could get Tinker. I mean, depending on what it looks like by the time I'm tutoring. Could get Show and Tell. Opponent's on 6. Mox Ruby. Vexing Bauble. That's interesting. I have Flusterstorm, so I'm going to let that resolve. That might be a bad bet. We'll find out together. Null Rod, all right. And I know they can't counter it because they have Vexing Bauble. This might be a game where it becomes really awkward for me to give them spirits, which, if true, means I probably want a DT for Oath so I can cash them out. The Archive to the top. Mana Vault is a legal play. Sick. I'm going to just shove Null Rod here. They either have to sack their Bauble to fight over this, or it's just in play. Brainstorm. Oh no, Force of Will. You better pay some mana first. Okay, I saw them lose life, and then they remembered what they have to do here. All right. Good save, opponent. All right, so this Null Rod was good for Vexing Bauble, Mana Vault, Force of Will, and Merchant Scroll. Deal. And now I have DT with Fluster back up. I could just stock up if I think that's better, but I kind of like having the Flusterstorm up. So they could also Fluster this, but they can just have that and I'll cast stock up next turn. It's not a big deal. I am doing better this game than my opponent is right now. Mox Pearl. I was about to start talking about how I'm not sure if I want to play out this Beseiju or what, but now I don't have to decide, so that's lucky. Ancestral Recall and Null Rod look good to me, and I'm just going to pass. Oath being a combo control deck means that sometimes your control hand is just gummed up with combo nonsense, and sometimes your combo hands are gummed up with control nonsense, but sometimes you're just in great shape and doing everything you want to do. All right, well, Ancient Tomb crams Null Rod out. We did it. And Storm is currently 1. I'm still good against Flusterstorm. I'll Ancestral myself right now. A Tinker of my very own. All right, I'm going to pass. And they don't want to play. Okay, cool. I still don't really know what their deck was, which is perfect in a Vintage game. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play in round 4 versus Allura strategy. Oh, I'm on the draw. Shit. Well, I'm on the draw against Allura strategy. My hand is a turn 1 Oath either way. Opponent's got some stuff going on over there. All right, they just turbo bought Luris. Jeez. Yeah, they got a good hand. We've been playing a lot of Vintage today. Oh, that's a Vintage card, though. Okay. That's actually interesting. So if I go Emerald, Ring, land drop this turn, I can Oath Time Walk next turn. I think facing down the fresh Ancestral Reload, this is a place I want to be. Stock up. Oh, this is looking like Luris PO if they have stock up in their deck. This is one of the matchups you don't love as Oath. Time Walk. That's fine. And by that's fine, I mean it has to be fine, because what am I going to do about it? Vexing Bauble is okay. That protects my Oath from their counterspells. They could Flame of Anor to kill their own spirit. If they go for PO, I would Beseiju the Mana Crypt. Alright, that didn't happen. Instep Hedge Maze. Gitaxian Probe. I can't cast this for 0, which sucks, but I am interested what's in their hand. Gitaxian Probe you. And I can still... Oh, if they force this, they're so cooked. PO in response. All right, do I want to Beseiju the Crypt and slow them down? No, all right, let's just see this hand, I guess. Force of Will and Pyroblast. Yeah, I'm fucked. Insanely fucked. Would they fight over Oko, and can I punish them if they do? I think the answer to both is no. Okay, I'm just going to go to the sideboard. Maybe there's a chance they don't know I'm Oath, and I can at least make them sideboard wrong, but I'm never winning that game. A Force, Trap, Null Rods, Crypt can come out because Null Rod's coming in. Oath can go out because it's slow. This matchup's not about Oko. It could be about Vamp. If I Vamp for Null Rod, that could be good. A Steel Sabotage can stunt their development. This isn't really for them, though. Not going for that. Scroll. It's just a little clunky. All right, here we go. Okay. Turn 1, Protected Tinker. Keep. If their hand is double force, I have basically nothing. I'm like passing the turn with a Tropical Island and playing no hand. We got to take these chances. Mental Misstep does mess up my turn as well. Like if they misstep the Soul Ring, do I force that or do I just try to push a stock up and set up for next turn? All right, let's just hope they don't have misstep. That would make this too easy for them. Okay. Tinker. All in, baby. Mindbreak Trap. Fuck off. All right. That could be bad news. We're in. All right, I'll play my land. God damn it, deck. Why? Why? Oh my god. All right, well, I do have Bolas the Citadel in play, but they could go off over the top if they can just like bounce my Citadel. I'm doing nothing. They had a Mindbreak Trap, Ancestral, 5 mana to start the game hand. I don't like this. Flame of Anor kills me, but they need to find red somewhere for that. Stock up. All right, Bolas the Citadel, please. Can you win a game? I will say that over these 3.5 matches so far, this Tinker package just felt like shit compared to the just smooth Oath stuff or the Underworld Breach. This has felt like the clunkiest and worst build of Oath I've played this season. If they play like Vexing Bauble here, I'm fucking dead. All right, they didn't do any of that. I got a real spell. Another land. It's at least a shuffle if I get stuck. Okay, Ancestral. Are we gaming? Drawing Forbidden Orchard and 2 mystery cards. Okay, I'm going to fetch in response here in case I see a counterspell. Null Rod, interesting. Okay, Ancestral's countered. I will leave Null Rod on top. Float a white. Play Null Rod. God damn it. This Null Rod better be good. I'm losing my mind. All right, pass the turn. You get another turn to do everything. This list does have 1 fewer land than the other Oath lists I've been playing, specifically because of the interaction of lands and Bolas the Citadel. All right, well, this is Luris at minimum, and win the game at maximum. PO for 3. Yeah, have your fun. I clearly have nothing. Here's all the stuff back. There's red. Now Flame of Anor is on. I will concede to Flame of Anor. I don't want to play this game anymore if I don't have Bolas the Citadel. All right, just taking another spin. This is a lot of looks at a flame. Leaving the red up. This Mox Opal wasn't there the last 2 times around. And they could get and play Luris at any point here. Painter Servant, what the fuck? Alright, well, now they can Pyroblast my Bolas the Citadel. Alright, I'm done. I'm done! That was embarrassing. Nothing like being excited about a deck and taking it out for a spin just to see if you want to play it for a tournament weekend and getting your ass fucking destroyed in every conceivable way onto the final round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in the final round against a non-Luris deck. My hand has turn 2 show and tell with Mental Misstep in between. I'll try it. Mox Jet. I'm just choosing to sequence like I'm White Initiative. If I play my Delta first, they're less likely to counter Mox, but I'm actually totally fine if a Force Negation targets this Mox right now because they're worried about something else. Because I am not actually that deck. Okay, passing the turn. I've got Misstep and Beseiju to get through this turn with, and then show until next turn. Ancient Tomb. Oh, are you this deck? Void Mirror. Okay. I could blow up Void Mirror this turn, untap and cast Show and Tell, or I could get Hedge Maze. I think I would prefer if Void Mirror was out of play, because that makes my Atraxa better. You've got a Plains. There's lots of scary things that can come into play off of White Initiative. I'm actually going to fetch here. That thins a land out of my deck, and that fetch land will be less bad against Archon of Emeria if they put one of those in. This deck has Karakas in it. This is one of the reasons to play Oath, so I hope we can actually win the matchup we're supposed to here. Show and Tell is on the stack. I choose Atraxa. There's any number of horrors that could come out of their hand. Archon of Emeria. Okay, Oath is an enchantment. Force of Will is an instant. Merchant Scroll is a sorcery. Mox Pearl is an artifact. And Beseju is a land. Done. Alright, I've got Force Blue card going into their turn. I've cast spells this turn and they haven't. So if they have Plow right now, or Solitude, they can actually get it done. Once they untap, I'm in pretty good shape. It's then I'm worried about Karakas. Okay, we're in there. Clarion Conqueror. I could force that. Do I care? It turns off Mox Jet, I guess. I don't think I care, though. You can have that. Atraxa is just bigger and badder than all of this stuff. And that gives them a second creature for my Oath to trigger off of. This Clarion Conqueror treatment looks so sweet. Okay, I've got another Atraxa in my hand now. I'm going to attack with this Atraxa and see what they block with, if anything. And then that'll affect what resources I have access to. Underground Sea, and I'm going to cast Oath of Druids. And pass. Okay, cool. We bullied the deck we're supposed to bully. Now to the sideboard, we've got Long Goodbye, Abrupt Decay. On the draw, Mindbreak Trap, Force of Negation. I also do like Sarah's Emissary as a something to go way over the top in the matchup that also doesn't get cooked by Karakas. This is a matchup where Bolas' Citadel straight up sucks. I didn't put a Portal to Phyrexia in the sideboard. I probably should. If I'm going to play Tinker, Portal to Phyrexia is big game. Yeah, that's just a straight up oops from me. It does let me just cut the package and not feel bad about it. However, I definitely wish that that was there as an option. I don't have a Sphinx of the Steelwind in this build, which is something, like sometimes there's a 3-card Tinker package across the 75, and sometimes it's 2. Like Sphinx of the Steelwind, the decks that's for, like Aggro Vine, just don't exist right now. Flusterstorm does nothing. Mental Misstep gets Swords to Plowshares. Cataxian Probe doesn't matter. Alright, I think this is how I'm doing it. This hand is just a little bit off in every direction. I'm going to mulligan. This is not really the posture I want versus them. Bloodmaw does a lot, though. Alright, I'm going to keep. And do I want to get rid of this Tropical Island or the Fetch Land? It's one of the two. Alright, I'll get rid of Trop, which is worse against... I would rather have Trop versus Archon of Emeria. I'd rather have Misty versus Wasteland. Okay, opponent's got 7 cards. Let's see how scary they are. Some things I care a lot about, some things I don't care about at all. And we'll see where they are. Chrome Box. Dumping an Archon. Cavern. On Cleric. And a pass. Interesting. The clerics in the deck are Containment Priest and Anointed Peacekeeper. Alright, I'm just going to start doing stuff. Sapphire. Lotus. Stonks. Mindbreak Trap is on right now if that's a card they would A, have, and B, bring in against me. Okay, Atraxa is one of the cards I was looking for here. I could take Atraxa and Show, and then Floodmaw a Priest. I could take Atraxa and Ruby, and then flash the Priest, or flash the Atraxa if they go for Containment Priest. Alright, well I need Atraxa regardless. It's what else is coming with it. If I take the Ruby, I can hold up Floodmaw while doing everything else, but I don't have a second round. I think that's okay. The point of flashing Atraxa is that you get a second round. Okay, land, Ruby. I think what I'm going to do is pass to their turn, and if they don't do anything, like if they don't flash into Containment Priest in the end step, I'll Floodmaw their Chrome Mox. And if they do Priest in the end step, I'll just flash in response. Oh my god, a Cleric. Flash in response to Containment Priest. This is a reload, but I am still going to have to beat Containment Priest. Alright, Atraxa, can't pay the difference. Fill my hand with cards. Abrupt Decay, Time Walk, Demonic Tutor, Atraxa. Okay, Atraxa's my creature. That one's easy. Emerald's my artifact. That one's easy. I think I want Underground Sea straight up rather than Delta. And Abrupt Decay being an instant versus Demonic Tutor. Or Tutor versus Time Walk's actually spicy. Yeah, I think I need Demonic Tutor and Abrupt Decay here. And I just have to try to beat the board rather than try to counter anything. All right, here's my grip of cards. And then Containment Priest resolves. Do I want to bounce their Chrome Mox now? I don't think so, because Cavern on Cleric can only cast Peacekeeper. Or is the Orc? White Plume Adventurer might be a Cleric too. Archon of Emeria. I'll fetch in a response while my land still works. Drop. And you get Archon. I can bounce Archon in the end step, untap, cast a bunch of spells. I can cast fewer spells than I'd like, actually. Right, Archon resolves. Priest gets in. I'm going to bounce Archon. I just don't want that around. I would prefer to have all my cards in play. Force of Will. I know that can beat the Archon. Mox Emerald. What's the sequence here that works the best? Oh, I should just DT for Oath and cast Oath, and then I can decay the Priest on the trigger. All right, yeah, that's the line. And I have Atraxa. Pitch Atraxa to Force if they do anything. DT for Oath of Druids. Play Oath. And now we're in a funny stalemate where I can't Oath into Priest. And if I destroy Priest, then Oath trigger won't resolve. But if they play out Archon, they just get cooked by Atraxa. So they might be incentivized to do literally nothing on their turn. Strip Mine. I don't care about that. Yes, I do. That takes me off black. That actually matters a little bit. That actually matters a lot. And I don't have a second fetchable black source. Yeah, if they see the line here, I could be in trouble. Yeah, this deck needs a Bayou in it. This is bad news. Okay, so my Tinker package is not built correctly, and my mana base is not built correctly. We're just 0 for 2. And I have to just decline Oath now. Soul Ring. That's not what I wanted. Misty Rainforest enters tapped. Play Soul Ring as my land for turn, or my spell for turn. My favorite land, Soul Ring. So they hit me for 4 guaranteed. The black sources in my deck are all spells or non-basic lands, which means they get to hit me for another 4, and I fetch in between. I don't have a Bayou or a second sea, so I have to fetch Hedge Maze in my upkeep. This is going to be tight. Right, fetch to 10, they can attack me to 6. Stock up, I'll take that. That is looks at black sources, and black sources are what I'm looking for. Stock up is my spell. Oh my god, deck, why? Alright, well, Ancestral Recall is a spell I can play on their turn, and I guess Show and Tell is an emergency way to put this Atraxa into play if I don't have time to Oath. But it's not great no matter what. Yeah, the construction of this mana base just bad for me. And I get attacked to 6, so I could technically still stabilize at 2 here. End step Ancestral myself. Okay, there's a black source and a Time Walk. All right, we're in, team. Stressful stuff. Okay, Time Walk now. Forbidden Orchard enters tapped. If they have another Containment Priest in hand, they can actually get it over here. Upkeep, Oath, trigger, target you, and interesting decision here. No, it isn't. I just have to kill Priest and don't have any choices. Black, green, kill the Priest. Hope you don't have another Priest. That's my spell for the turn. Did resolve. It was the top card of my deck, funny enough. We've got an enchantment, an artifact, which is a black mox, an instant, a land, and do I want Sarah's Emissary in my hand? It goes with the Show and Tell. That means there's 1 Atraxa left to Oath into in the deck. I think I do want the Emissary as a fallback. Done. Draw for turn. Drew Force of Negation. I'll play Forbidden Orchard. And I guess all I can do here is pass. I could Besage you something, but I think I'd rather do that. Like save it for a Caracas. Clean up, I will discard, or they might still plow in the end step or do something in the end step. All right. Both of Druids discarded. Mox Jet just kind of sucks with Archon in play, so I'll get rid of Jet. And I don't think I need 2 show and tells. All right. It is now their turn, and my spell bubble is back up. They use their spell for turn on Chrome Mox. That's good news for me. Witchblessed Meadow as a land. That was a turn late to kill the Oath of Druids. Oh, they want to cast another spell this turn. Well, I'm fine with more spells. Set it free. Okay, they're like, oh, you could block, concede. All right. Not a good outing for Oath. It was extremely informative, though. Seeing that Tinker just feels kind of clunky and bad. Obviously, it was just a 5-match set. That's not a ton of information, yada yada, the usual thing that I say when I'm serious testing, but I frequently had Bolas' Citadel in my hand where it wasn't useful. When Bolas' Citadel was in play, and it's safe to say I ran extremely bad, just hitting lands on like 5 consecutive looks. But at the same time, this card is supposed to win the game if it comes in. And if the deck either plays too many lands to accommodate that, or the things that it does hit don't actually convert, that's bad. Like these are notes. I have really enjoyed Oath the last few leagues I've played with it, and I didn't enjoy it this time. And I don't think it's just because I was losing. I think it actually felt kind of clunky and bad. And then even if I were going to play this exact structure again, I need either another Underground Sea or a Bayou. Just only one fetchable black source, pretty rough. I want the Portal to Phyrexia in the sideboard, so Tinker works in matchups that are about your life points. I don't want to have to just board it out, because then why am I not playing one of the other builds? Okay, this was informative. I might switch to a different one and play another league right away. See if I can end today on a win. But that's the end of this one. Everyone, thanks for watching. Heinz, thanks for the opportunity. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.